Welcome back to Ask Dr. Maisha, where we are creating pathways to peace of mind. This week's question comes from none other than the healthy brown girl, Adrena S. And she asked, what's the best way to treat eczema naturally? Great question. And this is the season too. This is the season where eczema gets a little bit worse because it's cold weather season. First of all, what is eczema? For those of you who may not know. Eczema is a skin disorder that can be, and sometimes is usually associated with asthma or allergies, that is characterized by dryness, itching, and cracking, and even sometimes little blistering. There's a particular type of eczema that can be blistery and weepy. And this usually occurs on the elbows, on the hard surfaces, the elbows, the knees, and the forearms. And sometimes it can occur on the neck, the folds, and the face, and in the back of the knees as well. So eczema typically can be very uncomfortable because it's so itchy. And it also can be unsightly for people wanting to wear short sleeves. How doctors usually treat eczema is with topical steroids like hydrocortizone, or some people may have heard of things like betamethasone or triamcinolone. Those people who have eczema might recognize that. But there are definitely some natural ways to not only treat eczema, but to minimize your outbreaks of eczema. So the first thing to know is that eczema does get worse in extreme temperatures. It can get worse in extreme heat and in extreme cold. So the reason it gets worse in extreme cold is because that is when the skin tends to get even drier. But in extreme heat, the skin tends to get inflamed. So you really want to just be mindful of being in extreme temperatures and how you treat your skin during that time. The first principle in eliminating or decreasing the outbreaks of eczema is decreasing inflammation, because of course inflammation is the underlying cause of most diseases, but particularly this skin disease. So you want to avoid foods and stress and things that cause inflammation. One of the most inflammatory foods for asthmatics and for eczema sufferers is dairy. And I know there are some people out there who love their cheese. I'm one of them, but I don't have eczema. But you want to look at how much dairy you're taking in. Dairy is an inflammatory food. Now there are some other inflammatory foods like your fried and greasy foods, your fast foods. Inflammatory foods also include red meats, and well, basically meats that are non-organic, because they tend to have preservatives and antibiotics and pesticides and things like that, that of course the animals eating food, pesticide, okay, let me go back. So the animals that you're eating tend to have antibiotics and hormones in them, and so of course that might create some inflammation just by eating that non-grass-fed meat. And in addition, particularly red meat and pork tend to be a little bit harder to digest, so it's stressful for the body, and that might cause some increased inflammation as well. You also want to look at foods that you could be allergic to. Now, I think it's prudent to either have a blood test or a skin test to see if there are particular foods that are causing more inflammation in your body, or that you may be sensitive to or allergic to, like nuts, or specific types of beans, or specific types of spices. Any of those things you could be allergic to. Even specific types of fruit you could be allergic to. So you want to look to see if there are particular foods that could be causing or inflaming your eczema. And then the third thing you want to think about is gluten. Going gluten-free, because gluten in general actually binds up the gut and doesn't allow for the proper elimination of toxins, more or less the digestion of nutrients. If you think about it, those people who are old enough to remember paper mache, what did we use to make our glue out of? Flour. So those unrefined flours and gluten-based foods cause inflammation and can worsen your eczema. So that's another thing to avoid. Now, some natural ways to treat your eczema. First that you can do is you want to keep your skin moisturized. But there are certain things that you want to avoid putting on your skin that will worsen your symptoms rather than improve them. And the first is petroleum, otherwise known as Vaseline, and baby oil. So Vaseline and baby oil contain petroleum, and while they are very oily, or the Vaseline is very thick, they tend to overall have a drying effect and an inflammatory effect on the skin rather than a healing effect on the skin. Now, some oils that you can use in place of baby oil or petroleum-based products is coconut oil, which of course is one of my favorites. And the reason is because while coconut oil is a little bit thinner, it is anti-inflammatory, and it absorbs very well into the skin without leaving a filmy residue. So you do get the benefits of the moisture absorbing right into the skin and the benefits of the decreased inflammation. What you want to do is when you take a shower or a bath, you want to get out of the tub, pat dry rather than scrub dry, and then immediately put on the coconut oil on all parts of the body, even a little extra oil on the eczema parts, but use it all over the body so you get the full benefits of the anti-inflammatory effects of the coconut oil. The skin is the largest organ in the body, so you're not just applying it on one place, you're utilizing the full benefits of the coconut oil for its healing properties. The second thing to do is you want to not put your heat dial on your water up too high. You don't want to take hot baths, because what that can do is that can actually dry the skin out and irritate the skin even more. So you want to look at doing, I hate to say a lukewarm shower, but a medium warm shower. Now in the wintertime, in the summertime, excuse me, the lukewarm shower may actually be more appealing, but in the wintertime, do not turn the dial all the way up to hot when you're taking a shower, or you're going to dry your skin out even more. And the third thing is take oatmeal baths. Use oatmeal baths, because oatmeal is soothing to the skin. And you want to be in an environment, put your skin in an environment that's going to decrease that inflammation. It's going to soothe all of that itchiness. It helps with the itchiness of the eczema. Another oil that you can use actually is avocado oil. It's a little bit thicker than the coconut oil, but it does have anti-inflammatory properties, and it does have omegas, which are very good for nutrient for the skin. What my recommendation is to combine coconut oil with avocado oil so you get the rich benefits of both of them. And since the avocado oil is just a little bit thicker, if your skin is extra dry, then you get a little bit more moisture lock into the skin. And there is some talk about aloe vera and its healing properties. Now, aloe vera is great for healing. However, with eczema, the products that you buy over the counter with aloe vera usually contain alcohol. So if you put that on your inflamed aloe vera, not only is it going to burn, but it's going to dry out the eczema even more. So I recommend against using aloe vera on active eczema. Even if you're using it from the plant, it still may burn. You want to have a moisturizing effect, not a drying effect. And aloe vera does tend to have a drying effect. So the take-home point is eat anti-inflammatory foods or avoid the inflammatory foods. Figure out what you could be allergic to, and then use things that are non-petroleum based like avocado and coconut oil straight when you get out of the shower to lock in the moisture and decrease the inflammatory effects of your eczema. Again, it was a great question, Adrena. Thank you. I'm sure this is very relevant to a lot of people during this cold season, and I hope that it's also been helpful to you. Again, you're with Dr. Maisha here, creating your wellness blueprint. To learn more about this topic, or to learn about how to create your wellness blueprint, stop stress, and find peace of mind, visit www.create-your-blueprint.com, and this is where you can download your free guide to eliminating stress now. Life on your terms, pathways to peace of mind. Again, have a great week. We'll see you next time. Namaste.